I do something wrong? Am I not good enough? If I was good enough, she wouldn't have left. Why doesn't she know who I am? If I was good enough, she would remember.
Out with a joyful grin, ego knit, our hearts unite, founders of love shining bright. We're Team Weird, and that's alright. Peculiar souls dancing in his light.
Did I do something wrong? Am I not good enough? If I was good enough, she wouldn't have left. Why doesn't she know who I am? If I was good enough, she would remember what I looked like. Adopting that type of attitude to be manifested in every other area of my life. I don't need anyone. I had no honor, no respect for people. When I was 2 years old, my parents got a divorce, and my mother developed a mental illness that they call schizophrenia. She was a successful woman. Everybody looked up to her. She was the rock of my family. And then out of nowhere, she became unstable, and so did my family. When I was 4 years old, my mom said, "Come on, son, let's go." She basically kidnapped me. I was there with her for 2 weeks. And every day I just heard my dad on the phone with her, like, "Give me my son, give me my son, give me my son." She's like, "No, this is my son, this is my son. You cannot have him, he's just fine." The results of that was her being arrested. My mom just wanted to be with me. Why does this have to be the result? Like, why did you call the police on my mom? To this day, I can just hear her in the other room screaming at herself, punching walls. And so what do you do as a kid to where you know your mom needs help, but you don't feel comfortable talking to her about getting help? So there was a huge void in my life with my mother not being there. And there were different ways that I would try to fill that void. Growing up in a single parent household, my dad, he wanted me to have a similar childhood that he had. I stayed out as long as I want. I was selling weed, and the main thing for me was getting into relationships, searching for something that could help me, heal me, fill that void. That resulted with me having a child when I was 15 years old. It was very scary.
Wow, interesting, very interesting.
It's like I'm not in a position to take care of this child. I didn't know how to take care of me.
Yeah.
I was in a very dark place, man. So at the same time, all of this is happening with me smoking, selling, all these girlfriends, I get introduced to music. And on my 15th birthday, I said, you know what, let me just try it. Let me just try rapping.
Comment on my post, but ain't taking the glow from me. I am who he said I am, even with no money. Just getting started.
One thing that I kept doing was trying. My friends and my family would get so tired of me because all we would do is smoke and I would just rap.
Like if I could be real, like these past 4 years.
While all of that is happening, with my music bubbling in high school and me having this bold courageousness, I started to have my experiences with God. On a Wednesday night, in the middle of a smoking session, my friend Dante said, "Hey Miles, we should go to church. We could go to the youth group, you know what I'm saying? They got all the girls there." We get in the service, and I began to feel something I never felt before. I felt this love and embrace that I've been searching for my entire life.
Interesting.
The pastor did an altar call, and without me having any knowledge of what an altar call is, I felt like I need to go up there. I go to the front, hands lifted, eyes closed, tears in my eyes. I don't even know why I'm crying. And then, out of nowhere, I heard a still, small voice. This voice said, "I'm gonna touch you." 10 seconds later, I fall to the floor and I couldn't move. Everybody was going except for my friends and his mom. And when I got up, they're like, "How do you feel?" I feel like I'm in heaven. And ever since that day, I would go back to that church to investigate his presence. As God is doing the work on my life when I'm 16 years old, I wasn't seeing my mom at all. I was trying to get over her. I was trying to mature to a place to where somebody could say her name and I wouldn't cry. I was on a bus. Like, I don't know why I was on a bus that day, but it was me and my daughter's mom on this bus. I see my mom. I'm like, oh my God, that's my mom. I haven't seen her in a while. Let's go say hi to her. And so with that excitement, with that joy I had when I seen her, she gives me this look. Do I know you?
I'll be okay, yes, I'll be okay. I'll find my way.
She didn't recognize her own son.
I'll be okay, yes, I'll be
It just rehashed every bit of abandonment, every bit of depression, trauma, everything came out on the surface. I got off at the next stop.
You abandoned me, cause you did it to the family.
I didn't even know where I was. I sat on a bus stop and baby cried.
And you damaged me, and then
I hate her. I don't want nothing to do with her. How can she not know who I am? Why doesn't she know who I am?
Do you even know my age? I look for you when I'm.
Did I do something wrong? Am I not good enough? If I was good enough, she wouldn't have left. If I was good enough, she would know who I am. If I was good enough, she would call me on my birthdays. If I was good enough, she would remember how old I am. And so I built a wall up between me and her at that point. And I didn't see a time where it would be diminished. Me adopting that type of attitude towards my mom manifested in every other area of my life. I had this attitude where it's like, I don't need anyone. I got me, my baby mama. I had no honor, no respect for people. And my friends in the streets loved it. In that time of my life, I became somebody that I felt like I had to become. I became this arrogant, cocky, aggressive kind of person to really shield my vulnerability. And if it wasn't for Jesus, I would still be that way. The Lord began to soften my heart. Like, I feel like each week he would just like chisel it more and more and more. I started to try to implement what I was learning in church. And I met a group called New Vision ENT, and they were making positive music. I'm like, I can rock with this. There was a talent show happening at my school. And with this talent show, I found out that the judges were Christian musicians. And I said, oh, if I'm gonna win this talent show, let me do my first Christian rap song. I get out there, the whole school went insane. They erupted with energy. To this day, that's like a top 5 performance of mine. And I ended up winning the talent show. First place. And I won it with a Christian rap song. So at that time in my life where I started experimenting with Christian music, I found out that my daughter's mom was cheating on me. For some reason, out of that, it birthed like a new beginning, a new desire to investigate God. What if God is really calling me to do music for him? We went to church, and I'm just like, God, I need you to speak. And before they could even introduce the speaker, he walks to the edge of the stage and says, hey, you, young man, come here. He's like, there's gonna come a sound out of you like a trumpet, but it's gonna be his gospel, and it's gonna go all over the world. And God is putting miles on miles.
Yeah.
I know God showed up for me in that moment. I know it. To this day, I have that prophecy recorded in my phone. I have it. I still listen to that thing. And everything that was said is happening. Everything. I actually met my wife at the church I got saved at. We instantly clicked. It was like a match made in heaven. After we got married, our pastor appointed us to be the youth pastors of Ignite Youth Ministry. We inherited 12 youth, but we took that 12, multiplied that thing. We was averaging almost 100 weekly. It was incredible. So we were youth pastors for 3 years. And while we were youth pastors, I approached a moment in my life where I said, you know what, God, whatever you want to do with me, I'm gonna let you do it when you want to do it. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be a faithful steward over my season. I'm gonna take care of my family. I'm gonna serve as a youth pastor and give everything I got to where I am. And if you want to expand me beyond here, I'm gonna submit to your timetable.
Yep.
And as soon as I developed that heart posture, it was almost as if God said, you're ready. Everything that God spoke over me started to happen. I was relatively unknown to a lot of people, but the Lord was sending me everywhere. I did this one event in the Bay Area. It was a rap award ceremony, and let me tell you, it was hood, and I was the only Christian rapper there. And when it's time for me to perform my set, the music cuts off. Mind you, the sound was good all night, but for some reason it cuts off during my set. So in that moment, a chorus came out of me that I never wrote down. I never thought of it before. This chorus was, devil wanna run up on me is bad. Devil wanna run up on me is bad. God on my side, God is my dad. If the devil wanna run up on me is bad. The entire ceremony, Christian or not, they was going crazy. Somebody recorded it and it went viral on Facebook. That started my career. With that momentum, I was doing shows everywhere in California. God gave us a strong fan base, Glow Nation. This family is like known across my niche as like, oh yeah, they are serious. They run up every single post, every single song. They show up to every single show. Like when we do our events, each one sold out, sold out, sold out. Like, okay, God, you're doing something here. I dropped my debut album. It debuted at #1 on iTunes in the whole genre, which is mind-blowing to me. It's like all the right doors started to open, doors I didn't have access to before. And so now we're gonna dream bigger. In regards to my mom, I definitely don't have animosity towards her. I understand that it's not her fault. I'm just happy to be in her presence, and now I'm learning to appreciate her more. It helps us grow. There may be somebody out there who feels alone, who feels forgotten, or who feels rejected, abandoned. Everything can change for you right now. If you just say, God, I feel alone, God, I feel abandoned, God, I feel like no one is there, I feel like you're not there. If you can learn anything from my story, is God is moved when we cry out to him. God is moved when we call on him with a pure heart and a pure motive. Before I met God, it was all about me. Now that God is the one making me become something, my focus is to be a blessing to as many people as I can. God, like, how could I use what's in my hand to affect somebody else? My only responsibility that I feel like he's given me is to serve. It's to build, it's to continue to sow seeds and trust him with the growth of it. All of this came from God. And because it belongs to God, I want to make sure I take care of it, take care of his people, his audience. That's how I want to treat everything that we have. Stay true to him. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Miles Minnick, and you're watching This Is Me TV.
So, done. I'm going to stop that there. Miles Minnick. Miles Minnick. Miles Minnick. Hey Siri, play Miles Minnick.
Okay, here's Miles Minnick.
Winter started. Oh my God, it done. The winter started.
So I resonate a bit more with that one. Yeah, I think he said so many good things of like, you know, it's really about the posture. I feel like God is correcting my posture as he did his. And when I know that when it's in the correct place, that he'll just, you know, do whatever he's going to do with me, and that'll be amazing things. I feel like this deep down fire inside that he's just going to do something wonderful, powerful, but I have to get my heart and mind in line. And if all I have is what I have right now, I am going to give it my all, do my best, and deal with the seed that I have for him. If it's only going in to help out on Fridays, I'm going to do it with all my heart and mind. I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. and go in and do what he has for me. I'm going to do my devotional. I'm going to share when I can share the people, support and love like Jesus did. That we just need to deal with what we have, you know, and give it to God. And if you don't know him as he says, he does love you. If you do feel alone, you're not alone. And I know that's easy to say. And it's easy to come out of a mouth, but I am not in the best position ever. Everything's not rosy. Everything is not sunshine and beautiful and perfect. From the outside looking in, it's the opposite. But what he says here is just amazing, and I love it. And his music, I haven't heard a lot of it, I'll be perfectly honest, but some of it's fire of what I have heard. Some, you know, Cali vibes, old school rap vibes are just going off. Can't play music because then this will get flagged and you won't be able to see it. But yeah, I suggest saving him, listening to him, and sharing his word because it's just fire. Well done, Miles. I salute you. God bless you. Yeah, thank you for listening and watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share it. Donate if you can. Remember, God loves you. I love you. God bless you. He made you weird and different because you're meant to be, just like Miles. He's different, so he can come out with amazing music, and he has a different past so he can relate to people. Whatever you're going through, God has given you the strength, and it's your choice to keep on shining your light and the love of Jesus in this world.
World that wants to fit in. We stand out with a joyful grin. Ego near, our hearts unite. Founders of love shining bright. We're Team Weird.